Hey, how are you, darling?
I know how to have a holiday, don't I?
I know. I know.
I'm in a little vintage caravan in the New Forest.
In the rain. Are you wishing you'd gone on a boat now instead?
Do you know, the alternative was in a 5-star luxury hotel. But I wouldn't have been on here with you, would I?
No, exactly that. So good morning. This is our first show of the week, unless you count Sunday, but that was kind of the end of last week. So this week we are live today here and tomorrow here, and then we're live Thursday at Hobbycraft. That's where you will find us this week, or rather me. Gemma is obviously in her caravan / boat. Now today, yeah, I know, right? Today we have got, and it is for today only, we have got incredible deals on cork. We'll talk about that in just a moment. We use cork for so many makes, and we carry our own stock. And what I discovered with the cork, we used to use it just for bag bases and stuff like that, until I discovered that you could use something called heat and bond. And here it is in the black version. And what you can do is you can lay your cork down. You can put this on the back of your cork and then put your favourite fabric. So cork down, heat and bond, favourite fabric on top, facing up, and apply some steam. And what you will get is this. Is your favourite fabric backed cork, which is just incredible. This has been an absolute game changer for us since I discovered that you could do it. I haven't seen anybody else doing it out there. If they have, they've probably seen us now, because we've been doing this now for well over a year, and it has been incredible. So things that you can make with it, obviously we've done all sorts of things like little pencil cases. I love this one, and my kids have got these as well. And so you can have your beautiful fabrics just poking through in there. We've done lots of different things. My laptop's not in at the moment. This is my laptop holder. Now this was one of the first times that we used these. And let me show you. Do you know how long ago it was since we made this one, Gemma?
Hello?
It must be a long time, because I'll tell you for why. I just need to change the little angle on this, because look at this. I don't know if it's listening to me. Are you listening to me? Look at that. Whee! Come in. There we go. Because this was before we discovered edge coat. This hasn't been edge coated, and this has gone everywhere with me.
Gosh, that is a long time ago.
So there's a tiny little bit of fray, which if you use your edge coat and your gum track account, you won't get. But this was the very first make that we discovered these, which are your corner protectors. Now, we had layers and layers and layers, so we had to have the 5mm thick ones there, and those ones you actually screwed in. But you can get ones that you just crimp in place with your pliers. Now these are fob pliers. We use them every time we put fobs onto things, be it wristlets, be it lanyards, be it whatever it is. These are a really handy tool to have. We've got them in stock for you. They are available. I'm sure Gemma will tag them for the show so that they are easy to find. But these are the things that you need. And then, so for today's make, we've just popped them decoratively onto the corners there. How pretty is that? So you've got your wowie fabric on the inside there, and it just makes it easy and just protects those corners. So you've got a little clutch, you've got a little pouch. I think this is, wire off out for an evening. It's nice, isn't it?
Beautiful.
It's such a lovely size. Now, if you're going to want to put your credit card or something in there, then let me show you these. Oh look, you can see a close up of this. This is my pencil case that goes everywhere with me, and I do mean everywhere with me. Actually, this could do with a couple of corner protectors on there. Look, they just slide on and then crimp in place. Now,
it's a really nice professional looking finish, doesn't it?
It really does, and it just stops them from getting battered in any way, shape or form. It keeps its structure, it just gives that definition to the end of it. Now, this is the other one of today's make, which has got a little flexi frame. You can put your cards in there. Now, I've used an offcut, so mine is lined. You don't have to use lined cork if you don't want to. I've also made a version. Now look, I'm waiting. These take a slightly smaller size of Flexi-Frame, and they were due in yesterday, but the delivery guy got lost. So he's going to try again today. And so for this, you can also fit your card in. I did check. But these come in a kit. So if you want to make these, you will get the correct size Flexi-Frame, but it'll either be this colour or this colour. And this is proper leather. So if you're vegetarian and you don't want any of that, then this one isn't for you. Make it out the cork. But you will get your Flexi Frame, the correct size, and you will get 2 of the corner protectors, and that is already the correct size just to get going and get making. So that's a lovely easy make there. So if you buy more than one of these kits, bear in mind it's real leather and you get your corner protectors and everything, I will make, if I can, then I'll mix up what colours, but I've only got a couple of that with the tan in as well. They're mainly that colour. Now, just to show you the corner protectors when they go on, I go in at an angle with my key fobs, making sure they are pushed up into the corner and squeeze. It is that easy. Now the corner protectors come in different widths. This one with the leather, we've used a wider one. So this is a 5mm. The ones that I've used on this today are 2mm. Now what does that actually mean? It's just the depth here in the middle there. Let me just change the camera and I can show you what I mean. It's this width here. This is what I mean. So you can see on the ones that are going on the leather, they're wider because the leather's chunkier. But for today's make, you just need the thinner ones because we will put it on that corner, on that single layer of cork and fabric. So it only needs to be very narrow. Looks great there, doesn't it?
Beautiful.
It just finishes them off. So let's have a little look at what colour options we've got for you. These 2mm ones are on a 3 for 2. I've got rose gold. They come in pairs. So I've got rose gold. I've got gold colour, obviously not real gold, and then I've got silver, which is what I've used, and then your antique colour there, all with the same filigree design on, and they are your 2mm deep ones. So they are perfect for single layers, double layers at a push, because we use these in the corners, but you're not going to want to go more than 2 layers with these. But don't they look lovely?
Beautiful.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, talking about cork. Oh, and Gemma is, as we speak, loading the 5mm ones. These are not in the 3 for 2. Bear with. I've got some like latticey ones, which are rather nice. They look great, don't they?
They do.
And then again, a filigree one in the antique, and they're just, you can just see they're just a little bit thicker, but they work an absolute treat. So they are today's corner protectors that we're going to need for today's show. Let me also show you this. Last time that we did cork, we offered you a lucky dip of beautiful cork. This comes straight from our supplier in Portugal. We pay all the import, we pay everything, and you get a free pattern with it, actually, this time around. I have got 3 of these left. I bought a few extras. So I thought you might like to see what a kilo of cork, and these are the cork ends, and they're all different. But I thought you might like to see what a kilo of cork looks like. This is it. And you've got all sorts of styles and designs. Look at this one. That's rather striking, isn't it? You've got houses on that one. You've got all kinds of goodies in here. Shall I open up this one? This one looks a bit wit-woo. And they're all different. So we have so many of you buy multiples of these. I love this one. So, and this one's got an owl. It's got some cockatoos, Gemma.
Beautiful.
It's got this incredible eye one. Love that. And it's got, oh, look at that minty one. It's got all sorts of goodies. But these are really, really, really good usable pieces. Long, long pieces. These are folded in half. Let's see how long this is. So you could make several of the fastest A4 bags out of these. This is a goodly chunk of cork, and you've got various different styles, designs. They're done by weight. Okay, so this one is particularly lovely. Look at this. Oh, look at the cockatoo! I haven't seen many of these actually. And I certainly haven't seen this. This is stunning. Absolutely stunning. So that one could be yours. That could be the one that we send out. Like I say, I've got 3 left that have... So these ones have arrived. It says it's pre-order. They have been ordered. They have arrived. They arrived yesterday. So if you've already bought yours and you're waiting for it, I will be bagging those up for you today. I love that house one. I tell you what they've used these for. You know, we had the bottle carriers. But I think we had some in that. So they are using these. This is what, because they manufacture their own things out of said cork. This is rather gorgeous too. You get a lot of that in that one. Ooh. But I've got 3 and then they're gone. Because we buy in bulk. Which just
Natasha,
makes a whole load of sense. Yes!
I have sent you a little message about the corks. Just on a stock front, just to make sure we've got...
Can I show you just behind me? Hang fire on those two. We'll find out after the show.
Sure.
These are what we're making tomorrow. These are what we're making tomorrow. So
you've been busy.
I have been really busy. Yes. So I've done these. There's a 3rd size to come here, so you can have them as a hanging Christmas hanging thing, but you can also just put them on the front of a cushion. You can do them out of, they are 1/2 metre heaven friendly as well, so you just need 2 contrasting fabrics. So yes, in these fabrics they are a little bit Christmassy, but they could just be on the front of your cushion as a lovely folded fabric technique. That is tomorrow's show. Now cork, let's talk about cork, because today and today only, like I say, when you buy your 1/2 metre of cork, we will give you, we've never done this before, 1/2 metre of heat and bond for free. So then you just have to find your fabric, whichever fabric it is that floats your boat, to be your special fabric on the inside. Could I suggest that a beautiful fabric might be the remainder of our Kaufman? These were the mixed metallics. They were so incredibly popular. And we had about 30 of them, didn't we? It was mega.
Now, some of these were sold out as well, because it is that last bit, and we do always load cautiously. So maybe there's a colour Natasha's about to show you that you'd wanted.
There might be.
And it looked like it had sold out, and then you go, there's a belt-end, what on earth? And we just, until we do our little stock checks, we don't know.
No, exactly that.
Rub your little hands together and make the most of 20% off our
Absolutely. So I am going to see if I can get, here we go, a really good close-up for you. And I think I've done it. Yes, look at that. So this is the last of the orange, but again, if you're doing something Christmassy, then gold it is all the way. I've got a 1/2 metre of that, and that is it. That swirls in orange. I've got swirls in scarlet. Is it swirls? Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. But you can just see the beauty of these. They're pegged as blenders, which is crazy because of the fact they've got all the colours in there. So you don't have to pick just one for it to go with it.
Yeah.
It's going to go with so many different colours. So you've got scarlet, you've got orange.
And some of us have got quite healthy Kaufman stashes now. So having these to mix and blend through, fabulous.
This is your swirls in aqua. That had sold out, but I found 70 centimetres left.
That piece.
Has it gone?
I just know there's going to be a scrabble and a fight for that one.
Yeah.
I nearly didn't load it. And I thought, no, I've already bought some. Let's be generous.
Dahlia, 1,90 metre of the dahlia.
That's a lovely size, isn't it?
Yeah. Look at that. That is a very special piece of fabric. Sprout does not do this justice. It's a lovely spring green. It's so fresh, isn't it? Love that.
Beautiful.
The camellia is stunning too. They're just so opulent, aren't they? Just stunning.
Well, this is the thing, when I came into Makes HQ, I hadn't appreciated just how wowy they are. And that's why my bag was a little heavier than my ex's in Makes HQ.
I also think that we haven't ever actually been able to show these really, really close up like we are here.
No.
Which just gives you the idea of just, I love this one. I'm not normally a brown earthy tone girl, but just look at the depth in that. So that's your espresso. And they're going to sit alongside. So I've backed my cork. This is a Kaufman as well with that metallic in there. This is one of the Christmas fabrics. So I've got silver on there because this one's got silver metallic. But if you go for the gold cork with these, how absolutely simply stunning is it? These have got 20% off, by the way. Like, there's a really lovely healthy discount on these.
No.
But then when they're gone, they're gone. When they're gone, they're gone. That's it. Shall we make? Let's do a make, shall we? Now I have, because we're going to do 2 makes today, I have gone ahead and I have interfaced my cork and my fabric. Like I say, all that entailed was cork face down. This is your heat and bond. You might get white heat and bond, you might get white heat and bond or black heat and bond, but you would just put that down on the back of your cork. Here we go, let me show you a fresh piece. Cut it to the same size. That on there. You'd cut this to the same size, your fabric to the same size, but you'd have your fabric right side up, and then you just pop your iron on there and apply some steam, and that bonds the layers together. That's it. That's all you need to do. And you're not using a lot of cork for this make. So the reason that we've given you a 1/2 metre with your 1/2 metre of cork is that that's the full length then of your cork that you are then able to interface with your heat and bond. It's incredible. And like I say, we've never ever done this for you before, but we just, you know, want to spread a little bit of love. So I'm going to...
I know you do bond like a whole piece. You'll layer up and you'll bond a whole piece, and then you'll have it ready to be able to cut out and make quite quickly, won't you?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So I won't mess about. I'll take a whole 1/2 metre, and then when it comes to making all of our smaller makes like this, I have a little bit left over that I can just go for, and that's really, really simple. Right, so we're going to line this up on the mat and we're going to fold this up. So all of your measuring, so you just need a rectangle of fabric to start off with here. Okay, this is in no way is this rocket science. I'm lining it up on my mat and I'm folding it there. If you want to pop a clip just to hold it, then do. And then we're going to find and mark that halfway point. just there. And then with this still clipped in place, we're going to go from that edge up to that halfway mark. Like I say, this really could not be easier, and keep that for another make. You'll use it somewhere. My scrap bags of cork are amazing. And just when you're cutting this, just make sure. There we go. You should be getting about halfway there. And you're going to end up with a nice right angle there. Okay. Now you can clip or pin this in place, but the other thing to do is to just pop a little bit of quilter's wash away tape under there. Quilter's wash away tape is absolutely fabulous. It doesn't bung your needle, but it will just baste that cork in place for you, so you can keep those edges down. Right, if I had the time to let this dry in between, at this point I would edge coat, gum track acanth all the way round, and then I would edge coat this all the way round. We don't have time to do that and let it dry, but that is what I would do for you. And you can see then that gives that lovely, very definite edge finish. It also stops any fray from the fabric. I'll probably go in and at least gum track acanth it after I've made it, as a little afterthought once we're done. But yeah, so you do it along all the way around the outside. Okay, now all we're going to do is stitch up there, across and down. Okay, that's it. That's all the sewing there is on this. Like, it really is very, very simple. When I say that this is an easy make, it's the hardware on this actually that gives it the detailing. It's not actually, it's not a difficult make. So I'm starting with my foot on, a couple of stitches forward and then back off the edge, and then away we go. And I'm just top stitching, so it's not a full quarter of an inch. I try and do about 1/8 of an inch if I can. And if you can't eyeball that on that corner, just sew all the way off and start again, because the corner is going to be hidden by your corner protector anyway. And so I would go about putting these on sooner rather than later, because yes, we're going to put a snap on here, but you kind of need to see how far up that is going to come. So again, you're going to slide that on. I might do this up close. These are your fob pliers. They are just brilliant. If you can get the ones with the protectors, that's the ones that we have in stock at the moment, have these little protector bits on, which just stops it from roughing up your fabric. So just gently close on them and push them into place so that they don't come away, and then just squeeze, and then you can go in more detailed on each side. But that initial squeeze, how easy is that to get in place? I mean, that's pretty easy, right? And then we'll do the same on these corners. Now, these, you might have to just ease these open slightly. This is going to be a tighter fit, but remember we're using these because because they fit on the single side so beautifully. And if you need to, let me show you. If you need to on this, I mean that's pretty much on anyway, and it just needs a bit of a squeeze. But if you wanted to open that side ever so slightly up, you can always get some of your jewellery pliers and just ease that open ever so slightly. But otherwise, we're sliding that over that edge there. And once again, when we come to close this up, go in at that angle. And just because then it doesn't come away, it's not going to come out of place as you just squeeze and squeeze that into place. That's one done. See, there it is. Where's the other one? Makes you really lazy, don't even, you know, actually no, I will just trim that off. Let me know if you need us to get you any of the gum tragacanth and any of the edge coats. They are a little bit of a game changer when you start working with cork in this way. Like I say, they protect the edges and they stop it from, I'm just going to open that ever so slightly. They just stop it from fraying. It shouldn't fray very much anyway, simply because of the heat and bond that we've got in there. So just sliding that on, making sure it is into the corner, as far into the corner as you can get, and then just squeezing it down. There you go, that's that in place there. So now all we need to do is apply that snap. So we've got our edge protectors in place in all 3 points. The next question is, what have I done with my leather punch? I think that's still in my bag from the weekend. So we'll go old school. We'll use what we get in our kit. Did you know that you get, by the way, the right size leather punch in these kits? And what I would say is get the button, because these are bigger buttons, and just see whereabouts it sits that you want it to be, and then you can mark it to sit centrally where you would like. Try not to hammer straight onto your mat because these are sharp and they will go through. If you've got a little bit of plastic or rubber or something, these are the dividers, but I'll just hammer onto those. Wouldn't be a show, would it, without hammering, sewing with hammers. See, and this is why we protect our surface, because it does go through. But what that allows us then to do, we've got a nice clean crisp hole, is to then fold that over and mark exactly where we need the other side of that snap to be on there. And then we can go ahead and create that hole the other side. I probably don't have to hammer quite so hard. There we go. So this snap goes through there, and then we just build up our snap. This tool comes with it. There's the bit that points up, and then there's the smooth side. We want to place the button on the smooth side there. Get your thinner piece that sits in there. Whoops. And hammer in place. That's gone all wobbly and wrong. I slid it off as I did it. If this happens, and it might happen every now and then, just take it off. You can generally, if it hasn't gone on straight, and it hasn't in this case. The other thing that gets them off is a staple remover. That's the other thing that you can generally use. There we go. I think I might have actually picked up the... I think I tried to put that in with the hole maker. That would be why that went horribly wobbly. And then for the male part, there's the part that sticks up and the part that covers it. That's going to sit in there, so that maintains that domed integrity in there. So push that through the hole there. I know that a lot of you are fabulous with snaps now, but there are still going to be those that are like, they're a bit of a mystery. And until you do them regularly, they will remain a little bit of a mystery. And that is your pouch done. I told you it was quick and an easy one. The longest bit of it actually is waiting for your edge coat to dry, which we haven't even done today. So that's it. Ready for you to pop in whatever you need, and away you go. So a nice, quick, easy make. There you go. Let's then make one of these. Now you can interface or not. You can use the leather kits, have got everything that you need. They come up ever so slightly narrower than the cork. So with the cork, you're going to take a piece and trim it back. If you want to interface it, you can. Having said that, I always have some to hand. This is about the one time that I'm actually sitting without any here. But you would interface a slightly larger bit and then trim it back. So if this is your first foray into cork, this is a super easy place to start. So we're going to start with a rectangle. This can be interfaced easily if you want it, or not if you don't want to waste any fabric. That's absolutely fine. We're going to draw 2 lines, one either end. And to the outside line, we're going to apply some of our quilters wash away tape. Quilters wash away tape is just such a godsend. What did we do without it? What did we do before it? I have absolutely no idea. There's me saying to this side, pop it this side of the line, towards the edge of the line, and then you can remove it, because now you're going to fold this end down over the top. So guys, if you've got scraps that you want to use up, this is a brilliant one. It takes a 12cm Flexi-Frame. But my goodness, it's such a quick and easy make. Just find that middle line-ish. And from there, pop a little bit of tape from that end to there. Now we're going to top stitch both of those into place now. If you don't want anything nesting, then use a leader or a donkey, as we call it as well. What's a donkey? Bear with me, I just need to put in all the passwords again. A donkey is this: it takes up anything that might knot or thread. and we're going to go in with, again, a very narrow seam allowance here, about 1/8 of an inch, if you can manage it. So you see, you haven't got any of this, but that's why we do that. So again, pop that down, get to the end. Give it a trim. And then take that bit of tape off and then fold it in half. And we're going to sew from here up to that mark there. So again, with your leader in place, edge stitching up to that point there. And we'll do exactly the same the other side. If you don't want to use a leader, you can start on the cork and just pull your thread through. If you are unsure about your thread colour, go with a nice creamy one so that it blends in. I've got this so that you can see and it stands out exactly where I am. So you can trim off these, and at this point, if this isn't entirely straight, you can trim anything down so you've got a nice flush straight edge, because then you can get your edge paint on, and you can, as you can see I've done there, paint those edges. Gives it a really lovely professional look. You are not taking off lots and lots and lots at this point, by the way. It's just a little trim if you weren't quite flush, and then you can edge coat down that side and down that side and around there too. Again, if we do that, we're not going to have time to insert. There's not the time to let it dry. If you want to add corners on, then you absolutely can. They look great. If you want to, it's entirely up to you. Or not, if you don't. It's the sort of thing that's going to go in your bag, isn't it, and get sort of moved around a bit and jostled and jolted. So sometimes I think it is worth putting that on if you wish. This is your Flexi-Frame. If you've not used one before, you will need some pliers, because we're going to twist that end. So open it up. It's always done up one end, and it's up to you whether you have the bigger circle at the top or the bottom. Makes no odds. That is just going to slide through those channels, just there, all the way down. Then it just pokes out the other end. You might want to just zhuzh your cork down a little bit, because you want those to then slide in together, and then you put that pin straight back in there like that. Now you've got your pin over here and your pin here, and you've got to circle that like that's been curved around. We're going to curve this around. So you can just turn it around your round nose pliers. If you've got if you're a jewellery maker, brilliant. And then just edge it back and bring it back around. And that is that. Done. It's really very, very easy. And then it just means that you can open that up. You see, you don't have to line it. I lined mine, but you barely see it. So don't feel like you have to if you're just starting out with your cork. But that's your cards. Safe and sound in there. And then you can pop that into your clutch, and away you go. So a couple of really simple, easy makes for you today. Tomorrow's show is a little bit more complicated, but it's still very achievable. And we're doing a fabric folding technique, so there's lots of repetition in this in the sewing. And if you've worried about sewing circles before, you're going to get over that tomorrow. So that's what we're doing there, guys. The cork is only while stocks last with the free 1/2 metre of heat and bond. But if you are someone that is going to use heat and bond in any way with our cork, it's worth getting it while this discount is on. Honestly, it's a massive saving.
Definitely.
How much are they saving, Gemma, doing that this way?
£5.
£5. There you go.
Bond's worth a £5, you know, so this is a really great chance to get your heat and bond for free. We have had a little disappointment where there's been some stock selling out, so we are going to immediately check our stocks and see what else we can do. I know the black and white grain is gone.
That has gone. We didn't have a lot of that.
No, that has gone for sure. But the others, if you've missed out, then keep your eyes peeled. We're going to check our stocks straight away. I'm not even going to let Tash go and make a drink or go to the loo or anything.
No. We've got rainbow. I know we've got rainbow.
yeah, that's fine. So grab it while you can. And that deal is only for today. And it's definitely worth having. I mean, the cork and the heat and bond, we use them so much, don't we?
We do. And that will do that whole length of cork as well, which is lovely. So it's not like, I don't quite have enough. No, you've got enough to do that whole length of cork, which is just absolutely fab. So if you are someone that does any of our cork makes, then it's definitely worth doing that. Have those 3 kilos of cork gone?
Yes.
Yeah,
something else to mention is the O'Deal. We have that on pre-order.
Yeah.
We were closing that at midnight last night. I know it still says order by midnight, but we've left it open just for today.
Have a look. The velvet borders from O'Deal are absolutely stunning. We've got 4 tattoo designs, 4 colours in the tattoo design. We've got 1 Atlantis in the borders, but there's also the most incredible velvet panel as well. So do take a look at that. But the orders have to close at midnight tonight so that we can get that order in. Why do we do this? It's the same with the cork, with the kilos of cork. We buy it in. We deal with all of the import tax. We deal with all of that kind of side of it because it can get a little bit complicated. Yeah. And then you just have to get it. Yeah, all of that, and it's really
and the cost.
It's really boring. Yeah, because that's just it. Because you think you've bought something and you think you know the price, and then you get walloped a great load of import duty, and you're like, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
We've all been stung by it.
Oh, terrible. Yeah. And this is why we don't import from the US anymore, because a friend of mine, we've been clobbered, haven't we, with fabric and all sorts, but she bought a pair of vintage trousers. They're massive into the vintage scene. Yeah. For her husband, thought she'd, they're quite expensive, but they're a rare piece. And she got clobbered for nearly the same amount in imports as the trousers were, and oh my gosh, she was shaking because she couldn't afford it, but she had to.
Yeah. You're in, aren't you? By that stage, you bought it. Yeah. You've paid your shipping, and you think that's enough, don't you? You think the shipping, because the shipping's not cheap. And then you go and get your import tax on top of that, and you're like, hang on a minute, and suddenly it's not what you think. So, but don't worry. There's not a margin for us here, but we've made sure we've done it. We've done it for you. So, and we have a really good relationship with these guys, so it all works. So, grab whatever you are fancying today. If it is that you want to make yourself a little leather version, then do. If it's that you're going to use your scraps up, then do. If you want to top up on these extra flexi frames, then do. These are the same frames that we use for the sunglasses, the easy Flexi-Frame sunglasses as well. So they're the same ones. So you could just elongate that length and make Cork sunglasses as well.
It's another great make, actually.
It is another great make.
These Flexi-Frame makes have always been popular, but they're
really
not
popular.
Something that, you know, we necessarily have all the bits and bobs for all the time.
But we do right now.
Grab them while you can. Yeah, exactly.
So tomorrow we're going to have a look. You need 2 contrasting fabrics for this. That's it. It's a very simple make, but also very beautiful. So do join us tomorrow for that. Thank you for joining us today, and we will see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you ever so much for joining us, and we will see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, screens are clear.
Cool. Thank you very much.